If you are just joining us and you're watching us live from Aku Mesam Division, good evening and welcome on Viewpoint. It is our pleasure having you again for another edition. In tonight's edition, we are going to be looking about good parenting, or how parents should handle their children during these holidays. After a long period of about 9 months of studies, it is time for them to go back and have a good rest and have leisure and do so many other extracurricular activities away from studying, but nevertheless not deviating from one goal, staying focused and while relaxing, learning in the process as well. To discuss on how parents should handle their children during holidays, we are honored to have a teacher, better experience to talk to the parents, given that they are the ones handling the children in school, and so sending them back to their parents. How should parents groom them up or train them or cater for them during holidays? Quay Nathaniel, good evening and thank you very much for coming.
Good evening, Vanessa. It is a pleasure for me to be here today, and I want to start by appreciating you for the wonderful work you have been doing. It has not been easy, but you have been going on successfully.
Thank you very much, and it's thanks to all the team, because I don't work alone. There's a huge team working in the background. Our producer Ramon, Sandra, the sound technician, and of course Stefan here with us in the studio. Thank you equally for coming. Viewpoint is a debate program, and tonight's edition is special in that we are not having two guests. We are having just Mr. Quay, and so stay with us while we ride on to discover what parents ought to do during this holiday period. Let us have a transition. How should parents handle their children during these holidays? Before we get to see how they could handle their children, Quay, what are the good qualities of good parenting, first of all?
Well, I think that when we are talking of parenting, the highest responsibility goes with parents. A good parent is a parent who ensures that the child grows up having good morals. And good morals goes with a child that is respectful in the society and a child that has responsible behavior. A good parent is equally that parent that will ensure that a child achieves better education that can give a better future.
All right, so given that you must have had these students or children in school for about 8 to 9 months and training them in one way or the other, it's time for the teachers to hand them over to the parents to continue with their education, be it formal or informal. So what should parents actually do during this period?
I will start by saying that parents actually have a big role to play for these few months of holidays. You see, the teachers, they have tried their best to offer the children knowledge, and at this time that the children are going home to rest, the parents need to handle them with care. If not, these children might get frustrated. There are a number of things that parents have to take into consideration this time. The first thing I will be telling parents to do is to ensure that they send their children to learn computer. They should go on with computer studies during these holidays. You know, during the normal school period, it is difficult for these children to learn computer because when they go to school and come back, they are tired and they don't have the chance to learn. And looking at the importance of computer nowadays, a parent who knows what he or she is doing will take this time to send the child to learn computer studies, which of course we cannot do without it in this generation. Mm-hmm. Then to continue, I think that handwork has proven to be what can easily put food on the table. Mm-hmm. There are many people who are actually educated, they have certificates, but they are unable to put food on their table. Reason being that maybe they don't know how to do something with their hand. You must have discovered that if you learn maybe tailoring or maybe hairdressing, no one needs to employ you. employ herself. And so I equally call on parents that they have to take this opportunity to send their children to holiday workshops where they will have to gain skills that can help them in the society. The skills, as I've mentioned, it could be tailoring, it could be in a mechanic workshop, or whatever thing that the child can do with the hand.
Anyway, it should be something that is out of the classroom.
Out of the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean.
All right.
Then, you know that some of these children, especially those who are in urban areas, they tend to forget about how things are being done back in their local areas, like in their villages. And so to parents who have been having their children in the urban areas, I will be advising them that it is better you can send your child back to the village to learn maybe the mother tongue. Because like here in Douala, I'm a teacher. I have 40 children in my class, and not up to 5 can speak their dialect. And that is not good. It is not a good thing. So I believe that parents should exploit this opportunity and send their children back to their local villages where they will learn their mother tongue and how things are done in the village.
That's promoting the spirit of multiculturalism.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, very important. And of course...
All right. Before you continue with your points, and given that you highlighted some points, you said that you send your children for computer studies. Does it mean that during their school time or during this 9 months of studies, they do not have computers, practicals, or they are completely off the rail?
Well, the schools, they have computer practicals, computer lessons. It is a subject in all the schools. Mm-hmm. But it is not going to be effective like when you are alone. What they do in a group, you can only master it as when you do it individually. In school, they have a program that they are following. Mm-hmm. But if your child is going to learn computer somewhere, you're going to instruct the teacher to start maybe, you can have a particular program which you want that child to know. And the teacher teaching that child will have enough time to follow up to see that the child is actually understanding.
And it's a good thing knowing one's mother tongue. But then, sending the children back to the village or sending them somewhere else or maybe to an aunt or to an uncle and looking at the level of insecurity in which we have not only outside the world but now in our homes, sending your children to strangers, in quotes, is it that secure? We have seen situations where uncles have raped their nieces, where a lot of things happening within the home. So, is it actually advisable for parents to send their children for holidays?
Well, when we say parents should send their children for holidays, they should take note, they should be careful of where they send their children. It is possible that you could take a well-behaved child and the child comes back in a manner that you cannot understand. You cited a case of rape there. It has been happening not only to one person, but to so many persons. And so we call on parents that wherever you are to send your child, you have to verify, investigate. It's not just be anxious. Because you see, one of the reasons why these parents send their children away from them is just because they don't want disturbance. They don't want noise around them. They want to rest. That's what some of them say. Not minding the consequences of sending your children out. Who are you sending your child to? It is a question that I need to answer. It really matters. It must not be that because it's your aunt, it's your uncle, you have to send your child. No. Know where you are sending your child. The environment matters. Like we said, that children can live from urban areas to rural areas to learn things and the rest. It will be very dangerous now at times to send children from rural areas to urban areas. Because we discovered that most of them, when they leave rural areas to urban areas, they tend to learn some of the activities which, when they go back to the village, they will not be able to practice. And in that case, they may put pressure on their parents, or they may engage themselves in things which are not good in order to enjoy the privileges that they had when they were in town. And so we are just advising the parents that where you send your child matters. Investigate. The person you are sending your child should be a person that can build up the child morally. It takes only a few weeks, few days for what you have built for a long time to be destroyed. So exactly. Parents, you should be careful. You better keep your children with you if you are not sure of who you are sending your child to.
All right, Mr. Kwe is simply saying that parents be watchful, because you can actually groom your child well, but then you send him in a home where they do not have norms, or they do not have rules and regulations, and so the child just adapts to what he or she met there and goes off the rails. So parents, let's be very watchful during this holiday period. So to continue with some of your points on what the parents should do, or how parents should handle their children during this holidays.
This time around, I will be talking about home. You see, children who grow up nowadays, most of them don't have a mastery of what is done at home. I'm talking of home activities, and home activities will go with things like cooking, washing of dresses, cleaning of the environment, and the rest. Some of the children, because they are so occupied with school work, they don't actually have the advantage of carrying out these activities during school period. And so this time that they are free, we will be advising the parents that you can engage your child more on home activities. You can teach your child on the various local dishes that you always prepare. You see, it is easy for a child to grow up and reach a certain age without knowing how to cook. And of course, that child will face difficulties in future. A child who grows up and cannot keep the house in order, does not know where you're supposed to keep a spoon, does not know where you're supposed to keep a dress, that child is going to face difficulties when he or she becomes independent. And so we call on the parents that you can advise your children, follow them home, let them help you in doing some of those activities. If you used to cook food, you can give them
good home training.
Give them good home training. How to manage a home. The children should know how to manage a home.
Both male and female, right?
Yeah, it should be both.
We are not just talking to the girls.
It should be both male and female.
Most people interpret it to be the girls' thing, and so the men or the boys have been kept aside.
The boys, I want to just talk about myself. When I was growing up, I used to be very busy with my schoolwork. I come back and I go and play my football. I believed I had younger sisters that could do everything in the house. But it was when I became independent, staying in my own house alone, that I couldn't cook well. I couldn't do some housework, and I saw that it is very important for the boys and the girls to engage themselves in homework. It will help them. If you're in primary school, if you're in college, you will soon be moving to university where you have to stay alone. Nobody, your parent is not going to leave and come and arrange a bed for you in the morning. Your parent is not going to leave and come and make tea for you in the morning. Your parent is not going to leave and come and show you how to arrange a home. And so I believe that for parents to engage their children in home activities such as cooking food, arranging the home, keeping the environment in order, it is going to help them.
Kwe, you're highlighting very important points that we parents we need to take it into consideration. But I'm trying to look at the possibilities of putting all these into practice. You know, most parents are busy in one way looking for finances in order to cater for the home. They wake up early in the morning, they go to work, they wake up early in the morning, they go to the markets and only return in the evening. So when will they have time to do all that, all these follow-up? You know, most of them, when school is going on, they feel like, I am free. Let the teachers take care of these children. Most of them will send them to boarding schools even to get rid of the children. But now, this is a very tedious period for them. How would they cope with that? Especially those ones who are never available for their children.
A parent who is never available for the children is not a parent. There is nothing in life that is more than your child at home. If you can lack time for your child and you focus on business and you lose your child, or your child is frustrated, it means you are going to get into more problems. Because when our children grow responsibly, we're the ones to benefit. If you can give your child good education, the child grows responsibly and becomes independent, can feed his or herself, can construct a nice house, the child can even help you. But if you allow your children to go wayward, you are still the one to face the consequences in the nearest future. So, to those parents who might say they don't have time for their children, I believe it is not correct. Everything is management. They should draw their program, manage their time. You must not be at home every time before you supervise. Before you leave in the morning to go for your business or to go to your workplace, you can instruct the child that is that stay home, prepare this dish, wash these dresses. And when you come back in the evening as a good parent, you are supposed to do follow-up. Follow-up means you call that child and ask, I ask you to prepare food, bring the food, let me see. You taste the food for yourself, and if you discover that the food does not taste well, what do? You tell the child what the child does not do correct, so that next time the child will correct. And that is how the child is going to learn. If you ask the child to wash dresses and the dresses are not clean, you tell the child how he or she will do next time, and things are going to move well. So parents must not be beside their children.
I remember back then when I was in class 6, that is when I started doing my laundry, and my mom, she'll be like, wash the dresses, and she'll come and see how I'm washing it. Then later on supervise them on the dry line to see if they are clean. If they are not, she'll simply say, go back and remove them and rewash them, like this, like that. And that is how I learned how to do laundry.
Exactly. So we are saying that the parents should avoid complaining of time. You cannot lack time for your children. Children, they are gifts from God, and we don't need to play with them. We have the right as parents to take care of the children. So we shouldn't neglect them because of other things. No one should forgo the child for any other thing. Your child first. So if you can manage your time and plan well, your home is going to be organized. Instruct your children and make sure that you follow them up. Because children nowadays, they are very funny. You can ask a child to do something before you turn your eyes. The child will be playing elsewhere. So they need strict follow up.
All right. So we continue with another point on how parents should handle their children during this period.
Well, the next thing I will be saying here is that the parents have to restrict their children from careless visiting. You see, bad company can destroy. There are children that they have left school, they are doing well, they have good morals. But I'm telling you that within this short period of holiday time, because of the bad company that they have, you might not understand what they will be as school should be resuming. So we are saying that parents should restrict their children from careless visiting. Before your child leaves the house, you should know where he or she is going. There are many things that are happening nowadays. Kidnappings going on, child trafficking, many things are going wrong. And so before your child leaves the house, he or she should inform you, the parent, that this is where I'm going. And if you find out that where the child is going is not a good place, you have the right as a parent to stop that child from going. So parents should restrict their children from careless visiting.
I think at this point, dialogue is very important.
It is very, very important. You see, a home is a place where they are supposed to make peace with the parents and with the children. They are supposed to talk together. Parents are supposed to spend time advising their children and showing them good examples on how they can grow to be responsible citizens.
Because we've had most cases where the girl child is being abused, but because there is this lack of dialogue, there is this lack of parental connection with their children, the parents get to discover it only years after. Meanwhile, had it been they were like friends, had it been they were friends, not even like friends, had it been they were friends, you would discover that the girl child could easily talk or converse with her mother, that, or the boy child even, that this is what is happening to me, that is what is happening to me, or this is what so-so and so-so person has done, what can I do in this situation? But when there is no dialogue in a home, when there is no proper follow-up, when there is that friendship is not there, things are not actually going to move the way you want to do. And even your children respecting you as the parent, it will not happen.
Yes, what you are saying is very true and very important. We discourage those parents who think that you have to just bully the children every time you have to quarrel with them. No. When a child reaches a certain level or a certain age, the child needs understanding. You need to take the child as your friend. We are not saying that you have to take yourself so down so that the child should be the one commanding you. No. You are an elder. You have grown. You have passed all the stages. And we believe that you know how you can handle your child to avoid ugly situations. Last time in Douala here, we got a case where a mother spoke to the child, the daughter, and she took a gun and shot herself. I believe that situation too, I myself, while blaming the girl, I equally blamed the mother because I don't know how she spoke with the child. I believe that if she was to take the child and sit her somewhere and give her an advice, calmly, gently, I don't believe the child could have used that gun to kill herself. And so we are advising parents too, that the way you talk to your children matters. You see, some of them, when they are big, they're used to television, they're used to movies, they see things that are happening, they have courage, and they can do anything. So in this generation, we believe that it is no longer time for parents to be harsh every time with their children, especially when they have attained a certain age. When you make yourself to be friendly with your child, it is easy for that child to come up to you and give complaints or and tell them, Mama, this is how I'm feeling. This is the problem I have. But when you're not friendly and that child faces a certain difficulty, that child is forced to maybe go out to wrong places to have solutions to our problems. And at the end of the day, when something bad happens, it will be the parent to bear the consequences. So we are pleading that parents be friendly to your children and, of course, make them feel free when they are at home.
Make them
you should not be that kind of parent that, as you appear in the parlor, you see children escape to their rooms. Or that when they hear the sound of your car, it's like a lion is coming. No.
When they get your steps, everybody is adjusting.
No, it shouldn't be like that. As a father, when children see you, their car, when they hear the sound of your car, they should be running out to embrace you and say, Daddy has come, Mama has come. It shouldn't be that when they hear you, the house is quiet, everything is silent, you get into the parlor, you off the TV, you just start shouting. No, your children will not enjoy the home. To enjoy the home, you take them as your friends while playing your role as the parent.
Exactly.
And we are not in any way saying that the parents should think that, the children should think that because your parents are friendly to you, they are mates. No. They still remain your parents and you have to receive their instructions.
And respect them, of course. Thereby making your holidays very beautiful and enjoyable.
And you just talked about the girl child. I think there are certain things that our girl children need to know as they are growing. And parents too should try to educate them on that this time. The girl child, the girl child is always facing so many difficulties in the society naturally. And we believe that parents should not be shy to discuss this with their children. Because when you don't discuss it with the children, it might harm them. They might not know, and they don't know how to take care of themselves.
Anyway, let's talking like sexual education at a certain age, your menstrual cycle, how to relate with men in the society, a lot more other things.
Yes. You see, talking about sexual education, some parents still take it as a taboo to sit and discuss sex with their children. Discussing
both the men, I think both the men even.
No, it is both the men,
the boys and the girls.
The boys and the girls,
because let's not talk only about girls issue here. I even believe that most those who should be educated the most should be the boys, because they're the one causing a lot of chaos in the society nowadays.
Well, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I think that
I think it should be on both sides, not just the girls.
It should be on both sides. It is dangerous for the boy not to know, and it's dangerous for the girls not to know. And we know that however it ends, the girl is always the person to bear the highest consequence. For example, if a boy impregnates a girl, the boy is free. You see, he can continue with the education. But once a girl becomes pregnant, it's clear that for the next 3-4 years, you're out of school. And so we are saying that, dear parents...
Because society has led it to be so, because in some advanced society, if you, the boy impregnates a girl, they send both of you for maternal and paternal leave. They do not permit you to cause harm to another person, harm in quote, and then you go for free. But in our own African society, the girl suffers the most. In other developed countries, you, the boy also, you will go for paternal leave.
Well, it is not the case here. When we move in the quarters, we see so many girls that are pregnant, they are suffering, and the boys are moving free. There are some of them that impregnate girls, they cannot even take care of the girls. The girls' parents are the ones suffering. The boy himself cannot even take care
of the girl child.
So it becomes difficult. So those are things that the parents and the society, they have to take into consideration and make sure that if a girl is pregnant and the boy that gave the pregnancy is there, the boy should be held responsible.
Exactly.
Not only the girl should suffer,
should not go scot-free.
The two of them to suffer. Even in school, at times you see they dismiss a girl that is pregnant and maybe they allow the boy that is responsible. I think that if such a thing happens in a school environment, the two of them should go. As the boy is going, the girl should go.
All right.
And they should follow the boy to see that he is beside the girl to make sure that he can play his part too. Yes.
All right, Queen Nathaniel, you as a teacher, you have groomed these children for 9 months. Now you are sending them to the parents, and in few months, 2 to 3 months, you will be receiving back these students or children or people. So, at that moment, what are the challenges or the difficulties people have making them to cope back or to stand back on their grounds as far as the informal education is concerned?
There are so many challenges that the school will face when children come back. Some of them come back when they have forgotten totally what they learned the previous year. So it becomes difficult. For example, if you are teaching maybe Form 4, you have to maybe go back to Form 3 work and do it before entering Form 4 work. If you're in primary school, you were in Class 2, you have to go back to Class 1 work so as to make them catch up. So we face difficulties when the children come back when they have forgotten all these things. And that is why I will seize this opportunity to encourage the parents to say that as our children have gone on holidays, it hasn't stopped them from learning. They should continue learning. Each evening before the child sleeps, follow the child to see that he takes a book, reads before going to bed. That child should learn every day because learning never ends. They are simply resting.
Process.
And then there are so many schools that will be organizing holiday classes, maybe in the month of August. It will be important for you to send your children to such classes so that before they come back to the next school year, they must have not forgotten.
Especially for the average or the less learners.
Especially for those who did not perform well, it will be important for them to have classes. Even now, a parent whose child never did well, you can look for a teacher to teach a child in the house. Classes will go on. It is going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
Then other challenges, as we said, if the children go back home and they have bad company, they will come back home with different mentalities. They have changed. They are wayward. They are rough. Bringing them back.
And the teachers will have to cope with that.
Yeah, the teachers have to cope. They have to cope. Yes, the teachers have to cope. You know, it is not really easy with teachers because they have to shape the child. They have to bring back the child to order. You know, we have all kinds of children. Yes.
About to deal. Queen Nathaniel, thank you very much. You have been very instructive in tonight's program, and I believe you still have much to say in regards to, because I see you have jotted so many points, but we are short of time. So what should be the take-home message to parents in particular during holidays?
Well, the take-home message to parents during holidays is that take care of your child. Your child is your future. Many people pray for children and they don't have, and so there are opportunities to have one. Follow your child to grow up morally right, and also make sure you give your child the best education, because the highest thing a parent can do to a child is to offer that child education. And I will also be advising them that it is holidays time. Take your children out. You can take them to touristic sites, have a leisure, and let your children relax, so that before they come back again to learn, they must have relaxed their brains before they continue. You know, learning to deal with the brain. So the children have to rest, visit some nice areas, at least have good time.
That's it. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for educating us.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for inviting me here. I'm happy. It is my very first time of being here.
Exactly.
Though I've been following your program with Mr. Mangeg, I still appreciate all of you. Hoping that next time I'll be here by the grace of God.
Hoping that next time we will equally have you. A special greetings goes to my parents, Mr. and Peter at Sinimbarian and Ndo Afa Carolina. Special greetings to you because you both have done well. That's it. Stay tuned to DBS television and take the rendezvous for tomorrow. It will be another day, another time, and because you are there, I will be there, God willing. Goodbye.